Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Flint for Real. Today, my special guest is Mayor Karen Weaver, and today we're here to talk about what's going on with the City of Flint and the issues that we're facing as a community.
Well, there's a lot going on. I think the biggest thing after water is trash. That's what's going on, and that's what's been in the news a lot lately. Is what's going on with the trash collection, the waste collection.
Right.
So, really, we can talk about that if you'd like to.
Yes, definitely, because there's been so much information out there.
Or misinformation out there. That's what I'm going to say. There's been a lot of incorrect information. And one of the things that's going on is something that goes on all the time is we put contracts out for bid because we want to get the lowest bid and the most responsible bid. And so that's the process that goes out. And I have nothing to do with that process, but what happens is it goes out through purchasing, and then the lowest responsible bid gets presented to me, and that's the one I put forward. And that's what we did in this case.
Okay.
And it was really interesting because actually the first lowest bid was a completely different company than Rizzo or Republic, but I believe they said they weren't going to be able to handle it.
Right.
And so that's why the other company,
Terra, I believe. And that's a company that's in Flint, right over on Webster Road.
Right, but they said they could not do it. So the next lowest responsible bid was Rizzo. And you know what was really interesting to me was after we put it out for bid, Republic came in $2 million than what they had been charging us previously.
Right.
And I thought, wow, I wonder why they were charging us $2 million more to begin with. So they came in $2 million under what their previous charge was, and Rizzo came in $2 million under what Republic put in.
Okay.
So we have the potential to have a $4 million savings.
Right.
That's what was going on. So,
in a city that's facing so many, struggles to have that money back, like you just said, whatever happens, we're $2 million cheaper than what we were paying. Regardless.
$4 million.
$4 million.
Right, $4 million cheaper than what we were paying. And so my responsibility is really to put forth the lowest responsible bid.
Right.
So it was a $4 million savings. Right. And so that's what I did because we are a cash-strapped city. We're not trying to go back under emergency manager. We're trying to be, fiscally responsible. And that was the decision that was determined, but it was determined because of the process. Definitely. So that's what we did. So I was really surprised when I saw that it said that what was put in MLive yesterday by City Council was that it was I'm the reason that the garbage isn't being collected because I know they're the ones that went to court to stop the process from continuing. Right. So, and then the other thing that's been out there is the garbage could have continued. Well, the judge is the one that determined that Monday there would be no trash collection picked up because we go back to court Tuesday. And so we see what happens Tuesday, and hopefully the issue gets resolved Tuesday, and waste collection will continue.
Okay, so basically, like my thoughts were, it's basically going to be like a holiday. One day, no trash pickup. Tuesday, you'll be in court, and we'll have a final decision.
We'll have a final decision.
And I know that you, the judge, the city council as well, don't want the trash piled up in the city of Flint. Nobody wants that.
No.
But we do want the most responsible bidder, the most. The best thing for this city at the time. And like it's been brought up, I did a little investigation on Rizzo, and I see Bloomfield Hills, Sterling Heights, the city of Detroit, all the outlying communities go with Rizzo. And those communities are beautiful.
And they're very pleased with the service as well.
Yeah,
so
if you read the comments, they all have good comments.
Right. It was interesting because I had the opportunity to spend some time with former Mayor Dennis Archer, and he was talking about Rizzo. And he was saying, that they do an excellent job down there. Nobody has ever had any complaints about their service. So, like I said, I didn't know anybody at Republic. I didn't know anybody at Rizzo. What I'm supposed to do is get the presentation of the bids and then present the lowest responsible bid.
Per charter.
That's what I did.
Yep.
And that's per the charter.
And that's the question I think nobody's asking. Why is City Council fighting so hard for Republic? What's going on? Because to save that much money and just make a change. Let's make a change. Everybody wants things to be different, but you can't do that doing the same things.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's a question that people need to ask ask them.
Right,
and see what their response is, because I don't have that answer.
Right, it doesn't make sense to me that all of this and the court cases, it just was shocking how fast it got to court. And that's something, and I just, I support you. Everybody knows that. And just to see the way that the misinformation and the misperception of the way things are going is just, it's not right. And we have come such a far way in such a short time under your leadership that, why would anybody want to step out against the change that's coming? It's inevitable. We're changing this city. Right,
and some good changes are going to take place, so it's really, really exciting. The road is not always smooth. Things happen, but I just thought that $4 million was important to put forward to let the people know that this was the savings that we have the possibility of having with the other company. Like I said, I don't have any skin in the game with either company.
Right.
I really don't. Like I said, originally we were going to try to go with the first company that had the lowest bid until they said
they couldn't handle it.
Exactly. So, and that's what will happen with any of the bids that come forward. One of the things we have to do is look at the bidding, and we can't just automatically renew contracts. We have to make sure we're being, responsible with the money and how we spend it. And if we can get a cost savings, then the people deserve a cost savings.
Yes.
And that's what I'm supposed to do.
That is, and that's all we can ask of you as our mayor and the leader of this city. And that's, some of the things that we don't know as regular citizens on how the bids work and how they go through. This isn't just some proposal handed in back door. This has went through the proper channels.
Correct.
It's been vetted the right way through purchasing and through the right steps. This isn't anything new. One of the things at City Council they said it was rushed. But I heard Sylvester Jones on the radio say that it's been there since May. Just nobody wanted to look at it.
And we did give a 30-day extension.
So, that's 30 more days to investigate, see what is the problem, and you can see what, to see what's going on. It's just not what we need to move forward as a city.
Well, it really isn't, and it's a shame that we, talk about each other and put each other down, because we could be so much stronger if we were working together. And we have to look at the finances. That's what got us an emergency manager before, was not being fiscally responsible and not making some tough decisions and the tough calls as far as our finances. And there is just no way I can say, oh, well, $4 million doesn't matter. It does matter to the taxpayers, $4 million.
Yes, it does.
We were already being charged for water that we couldn't use, and we got a savings there. But that went on way too long. Yes. So the money does matter. And if there's a way for me to, help cut those costs, that's what I'm going to do.
Right, and from the way it looks like, you're going to get a lot of pushback, but, keep going. Don't let them discourage you from making this a better place, because the change is already happening around us. People can see it. There's a different environment. We have these few people that like to stir the soup, so to speak, but, they're running out of things to throw in the pot, because we are moving forward. Things have changed here for the better. They're not the best yet, but one of the things I like to point out, look around your house. Look at all that stockpile of water and your water filters. This has come because of the change that our mayor has brought about in this city. People have to respect the change that's happened so far and just hold on. Don't believe everything you hear on Live, because I don't. Especially when it comes from Gary Ridley or whatever his name is. That guy is something else. But that's another story. And it was such a great week seeing you on the stage at the debate. How was that experience?
It was an experience. It really, really was. And people said, well, were you nervous? And at first I was a little bit nervous. And it was so funny because I was sitting backstage and I saw this lady sitting there and I said, she looks familiar. And as I got closer, I said, "That's Star Jones." And so I went and introduced myself to her. And she said, "I'm going to introduce the Flint story." And I said, "You are?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, you know what? I can't be nervous." I said, "If Star Jones is going to help us push Flint forward, I better get out there and do my job." And so it was really wonderful to have the opportunity to continue to keep Flint right out there in the national spotlight and let people know we still need help. Things are not where they need to be. And it was really, really good. And then when Hillary Clinton brought up Flint in her speech, I thought, wow, this is really, really good. Because people have asked, do you think this is for real? And one thing we know is she has been very real with this.
Yes, she has. And one of the perspectives you have to think about, if we were to have Donald Trump here, Flint gets nothing. We're going to be buried. Yesterday's news. But with a powerful ally for president.
And we need a friend in the White House.
Yes, we do.
Because there are a lot of federal monies that could come our way.
Yes, and we just seen, what was it, 20 million federal dollars came to keep moving on the fast track or the damage.
Yeah,
so
25 million. So she, infrastructure is important to her.
Yeah.
And environmental justice is important to her.
Yes.
So water quality standards. So it was a great experience. It was a good time to talk to a lot of people about Flint and what's going on and what is not going on in Flint.
Right. I know you meet a lot of people all the time, but were you starstruck at all? The president, the first lady, all those people that we just see on TV, you're there with them now.
It was very inspiring.
Okay.
That's what it was. Because a lot of them were asking about Flint.
Right.
It's like Flint had not gone away. There were people there that had Flint Lives Matter shirts on.
Right.
And some of them were people I didn't even know.
Right.
And
wow.
So it was something. It was something. It was history.
Yes, it was very historic. You know. We looked. You're the very first mayor of Flint to ever speak at the Democratic convention, either convention. So you made history once again.
Well, I'm glad. I was happy. I was humbled to have that opportunity because it's important. And just like Flint is worth fighting for, saving the taxpayers' money is worth fighting for. All of those things. So sometimes a decision isn't a popular one, but you have to do what's right. And I just know that to continue to keep us out in the national spotlight until this issue with the water is resolved is important. I know to save the city $4 million in this area and then hopefully monies in other areas is important. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do.
Yes, it is. Being a leader, making those tough decisions. I know that sometimes the right thing isn't right for everybody, and that's where you're going to see the one or two.
People threaten me all the time. So
I know.
See how that goes.
Right. It's just.
I'm just, I just am going to stay focused on moving forward and stay strong in my faith and just keep going.
Okay, and that's the one thing when people ask me, because everyone knows I know you, they ask me, what is it about Karen Weaver that you believe so much in? And I know you're a strong woman of God, and you put your faith ahead of a lot, and that's what you base your decisions on. And I feel the same way. You have to put your faith and go from there. Everything's going to be okay. Faith of a mustard seed, right?
And I know how I got here.
Right, exactly.
So if people don't know their arms are too short to box with God, shame on them. They'll find out.
Yes, you will. Very quick. So, I know in a couple days here we're going to have a State of the City address.
Yes.
As anything, any little...
Well, we're going to be talking about some exciting things because there, and I'm trying to save it, but there's some good things that are going to be happening in the city. And we'll be talking about them Thursday, so I'm looking forward to that. I really, really am.
That's going to be Thursday at 5 p.m. at City Hall in the chambers, the council chambers. So yes, Thursday, August 4th. And Anything you'd like to say to your public out there?
Well, I just want to thank everybody for sticking with me and supporting me, and know that I'm going to continue to be a voice for the people, and I'm going to fight for what I believe is right and what people are telling me. And I just want to thank everybody for that, and you as well.
You're welcome. Thank you for stopping by.